With the reconciliation process, it aims to educate Australians around equity, positive race relations, along with celebrating ongoing First Nation cultures, so we can come to a place to reconcile our differences and move forward together to create positive changes in the future.
The act of reconciliation, I think, is firstly the most important part is acknowledging the separation that has been a big part of Australian culture on many levels. And as a participant in Australian culture, as part of the collective consciousness that is Australia, I think it's important for me as an individual to acknowledge the hurt, the shame and the guilt that is part of the culture here. But also in acknowledging that, we then can start the first steps to release that and move forward together.
Reconciliation is important. We're recognising the history of First Nations, the atrocities that had happened. We're still really all affected of our history. We still carry it now, and hopefully we don't carry it into the future. But what we can do now, the here and now, is not only just recognise it, but own it and actually start moving forward together.
Reconciliation to me is understanding that the past actions of our society and government still play a part in the lives of First Nations people today. It's about acknowledging that, understanding that, and working together to bridge the gap.
Reconciliation is so important. I think a lot of non-First Nations Australians have a pretty short history when it comes to Australia's history. It's only within the lifetime of my parents that First Nations people have even been eligible to vote in Australia. And that just makes things like the Closing the Gap initiative, recognising the lack of progress that we've made in that space, makes reconciliation so much more important. And the importance of formalising our organisation's steps toward reconciliation via lodging our RAP, so much more important.
So reconciliation matters to me because it allows us the ability to move forward with a deeper understanding and connection with those who have walked before us, and to have a shared knowledge of, I guess, the land that we're on. And yeah, it's very important to me to understand where we are and who has walked this land before us.
Reconciliation matters to me personally, and I feel it should for every Australian, because we need to recognise and acknowledge our history. And particularly, of course, our history with the First Nations people in order to be able to move forward. I think it's a formalisation of that history and a formalisation of acknowledging what happened, atoning for what happened, saying we are sorry, but then also a positive approach for all of Australia and for all Australians and our First Nations people to work together to move forward to make this country even better.